It's one of the most tranquil settings in North America, the Pacific Northwest. But it will be anything but peaceful tonight. CrossFit invades Portland, Oregon for a rematch between two of the best in the sport. 1 year ago, it was the battle in Seattle between Josh Bridges and Scott Panchik.
Josh Bridges, Scott Panchik, 14.4.
They're back to go at it once again in 15.4. Josh Bridges was just one place away for a podium finish at the Games in 2014. He is on a mission to return to the top 3 this year. The man he faces tonight could keep him from doing that. Scott Panchik has been on the cusp of a podium appearance since his Games debut in 2013. It smells like fitness in the City of Roses. Bridges versus Panchik for the second time. 15.4 is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, masters and teens, CrossFitters, welcome to the live announcement of Open Workout 15.4. Hey guys, I'm your host, Rory McKernan, and we are live from CrossFit X-Factor in Portland, Oregon. Pretty crazy in here. All right, it's been 4 weeks so far, but already as a community, we've logged almost 1 million workouts. That's 143 million reps that we've done together, and every single week we've checked in with a different CrossFit affiliate around the globe, everywhere from Australia's Gold Coast to Guayaquil, Ecuador. And that's because affiliates are the lifeblood of this community and this competition. In terms of the Open, you guys are running this thing, and there's almost 12,000 affiliates worldwide, so we've got millions of examples, but perhaps none as good as our most geographically remote affiliate, CrossFit Tumuora. It's literally in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and we're gonna check in with the co-owners of Tumuora, Olivia and Jeff. Guys, can you hear me?
To all our CrossFit brothers and sisters, man.
Right on. That's pretty cool, man. You guys, for us geographically challenged like myself, you got to give me a little more context. Where exactly are you guys?
Oh, okay, so our little slice of paradise, it's in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean. If you think Hawaii, just go a line straight down, or 4 hours from New Zealand, 10 hours from LA.
Right on. Sounds like we need to come and visit you guys. And you're a pretty young affiliate. You've grown a lot with the Open, though, in just the past year. Can you tell me how you guys did that?
Just our community. Really, our community is the best thing that we've got. And without it, would.
Right on. Well, you guys, it looks like paradise down there. I don't know why you'd ever leave, but you've got a big trip planned in July. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we've got 20 of our members going over to the CrossFit Games. We just want to show there and just show them our vibrancy, our culture, our drums, and everything.
So can we get a little taste of that now as we say goodbye?
Yeah, we'll give you a little demo. Let's go, guys.
That is amazing. Thanks, and lots of love to our family down in the Cook Islands. But back here in Portland, we've got serious business. 2 men dominant in the sport of fitness, and they're on a collision course in 2015 for the title, Fittest Man on Earth.
Consistency. It is the key to success at the CrossFit Games. And it's the main thing both Josh Bridges and Scott Panchik have in common.
I don't really focus on one specific thing. I'm just trying to become as well-rounded as I possibly can.
I think the key to my consistency is I like to feel pain, I try to stay good at everything, and I try to capitalize on events that I know I can win. Bridges
stood on the Games podium in 2011. Since then, he's never finished lower than 7th in Carson. Bridges is an unrelenting force who is driven by his will to do whatever it takes to win.
I definitely like to win more than I like to breathe. You know, it's like you have to have this inner drive where I want to be the best that I can be, and I want to do the best that I can out there on the floor, for sure.
Scott Panchik has never finished outside the top 5 since his Games debut in 2012. Fitness runs in his family. His 2 younger brothers continually push him at CrossFit mentality, while the competition he faces in the Central East region more than prepares him for the test in Carson.
I want to win. It's as simple as that, and I think the athletes that are constantly showing up at the Central East are just a force to be reckoned with. They want to win, and they believe they're going to win, and that's what makes them great.
Bridges has tasted a top 3 finish at the CrossFit Games. Panchik has been one spot away twice. Both are hoping to stand on the podium at the StubHub Center in 2015. It's time for consistency to take them to the next level.
I've been close to winning the CrossFit Games and getting on that podium, but I haven't yet. This year, you can bet that I'm going to be thinking about each and every one of those moments to get on that podium.
I won 11.4. I won 11.6. I took first place in the dog sled event. I won the muscle up deadlift GHD triplet. I took first place on the beach. I won Naughty Nancy. I owned legless. I won 14.5, and I won 15.2. Hey, why not? Throw it in there, you know what I mean?
Last year I lost to Josh. It left a sour taste in my mouth. I'm looking to make a statement. I want to win the CrossFit Games. This is going to be the first step, winning on Thursday night. Champions aren't born out on there on the floor. They're born back in the room when no one's watching. And if you can find a way to push during those scenarios, that's how you become a champion.
Looking to turn the tide and ride the momentum to this year's Games podium, your 3-time top 5 finisher, Scott Panchik. Here to defend his last open victory over Panchik and continue moving up the ranks, 4th place finisher from last year's Games. Give it up for Josh Bridges. Josh Bridges, ladies and gentlemen.
For the announcement of Open Workout 15.4, the director of the CrossFit Games, Dave Castro.
15.4 will take a bit of explanation. Kenny, bring out the whiteboard. Josh, what would you like to see today?
Maybe some squat cleans and some burpee box jumps.
Scotty?
Hang cleans and burpee box jumps.
I know a lot of you don't understand this, but these guys really don't know what the workout is prior to this moment. So for all of those who think that they know, they don't know. 15.4 is going to follow this rep scheme. 3, 3, 6, 3. 9, 3, 12, 6, 15, 6, 18, 6, 21, 9, 24, 9, 27, 9, etc. On and on. The first movement is push-ups. The second movement is cleans at 85 pounds. 15.4 is, wait. We do have a scaled option this year. Let's take advantage of that. The first movement in 15.4 is really handstand push-ups. The second movement is cleans at 185 pounds. For the men, 125 for the women. 15.4 is 3 handstand push-ups, 3 cleans at 185. 6 handstand push-ups, 3 cleans. 9 handstand push-ups, 3 cleans. 12 handstand push-ups, 9 cleans. 15 handstand push-ups, 9 cleans. 18 handstand push-ups, 9 cleans. So forth and so forth and so forth. As many reps as possible in 8 minutes. Athletes, you have 8 minutes to get ready. Good luck.
Well, 2015 is a year of firsts, and now handstand push-ups make their debut in the World Wide Open. I suggest you kick up into one and try and hold it while we go to break. When we come back, we'll cover standards, then 2 of the best men in the sport. We'll go head-to-head live in 15.4. We'll be right back.
I just think for us, it's an opportunity for us to set the standard about how CrossFit should be around the world.
That concept of paying it forward is huge in CrossFit. At every single stage there was someone that I could ask questions of and expertise, and I guess I start to fulfill that role a little more now.
And ultimately we just want to spread this to as many people as we can, because we've all seen it impact our lives and other people's lives. And the more we can do that, I think the better things will be.
My name is Steve Haydock.
Carl Steadman.
Matthew Evans.
And I'm CrossFit Level 1 seminar staff.
Welcome back to CrossFit HQ's live coverage of the announcement of 15.4, where we now know we face a couplet of handstand push-ups and cleans with ascending reps. Now, these aren't your die-in handstand push-ups. There's some special details you need to pay attention to, so please tune in. For 15.4 to count, it needs to look like this.
Prior to starting the workout, the athlete and judge will need to set the height for their handstand push-up. To determine the height, the athlete stands in a hip-width stance with their toes touching the wall. They raise their hands over their head, lock out their elbows, and with their thumbs touching, press their palms against the wall. Make a mark at both wrists. Now, make a second mark 3 inches below the wrist mark. Draw a straight line connecting the 2 lower marks. Mark the line with tape or some other method that won't rub off during the workout. Every repetition of the handstand push-up must have the athlete's heels start above the line, have the head make contact with the floor at the bottom, and finish with the heels above the line. Every repetition of the clean starts with the weight on the floor and finishes when the hips and knees reach full extension with the bar on the shoulders. Your score is the total number of repetitions performed in the 8-minute window.
So I am standing now with the head judge of the CrossFit Games, Adrian Bozman. We've established some reference lines for the handstand push-up. Boz, walk me through how we got these lines.
So we started with both athletes with their feet shoulder width apart and, hip width apart and their toes up against the wall. From there, we had them extend their arms over their head with their thumbs touching. Then we measured from the crook of their wrist 3 inches below and marked that on the wall. We use both gaffer tape and permanent pen so that if the athlete's heels brush up against the tape, we still have a mark if the tape disappears. When you guys are doing this at home, I would recommend that you guys use something as permanent as possible, but if your line disappears, your judge may reestablish that at any point during the event. Now, the standard is pretty simple. We're going to have the athlete kick up and begin with their heels above the tape line and against the wall. Then they touch their head to the mat and return to a position with their heels above the tape line and against the wall. And that's it.
Well, good luck to you, my friend. You're going to need it tonight. You guys at home still confused, don't worry. You can always go to the games site, games.crossfit.com, for all the standards. And we want you to be part of the show tonight. Tweet us. Use the hashtag CrossFit Games, and we could get you into the broadcast. We're also bringing back a popular thing from last week, the Instagram selfie video. Ask a question from yourself. One of the athletes or Dave Castro may answer it on the Cool Down Show directly. Hey, we're just minutes away from competition. We got to go to the booth now where Chase Ingram and Bill Grundler are standing by with a legend of the CrossFit Games, Mr. Chris Spealler.
Thanks, Rory. Well, Bill, for the first time, we've been there's been whispers that we might see it this year, handstand push-ups. Here it is.
He does this all the time, but you know what? It's nice that we have the scaled option so we can really jump into this. But talk about a collision, and Rory wasn't lying when he said collision, between two great athletes that have gone head-to-head and really want that podium berth this year. You know, with Rich and Jason gone, this really opens up the door, so it's going to be a true battle. But I have to say, with this particular workout, I mean, Josh has been unbelievable in his CrossFit career when it comes to handstand push-ups, so I think he's got the advantage in this one.
All right, so let's talk about Josh. Let's talk about someone else who I can think take advantage of this workout as well. Chris Spealler, what particularly would you utilize, at least yourself, to be successful in this workout?
Yeah, for me, either way, these guys are going to have to deal with the compounding effect of the handstand push-ups. I think you'll probably be shocked to see how quickly they go to singles on the clean, and that's probably going to be in order to just be able to recover so they get back to the handstand push-up in time. And for those of you guys out there, break those puppies into small sets of 2 and 3, short breaks, doesn't hurt anybody.
So talking about, we think Josh might have the early advantage just on paper. Let's talk about what you think Scott might need to do to either keep pace or possibly beat Josh.
Yeah, Scott, I mean, notoriously great with power cleans, maybe even more comfortable with power than squat. And I think he's going to have to be able to start to string some things together where Josh may be going to singles. And that's where he's going to have to catch up.
All right, so prediction, Josh or Scott?
I'm still going with Josh.
I got to go with Josh on this one.
I'm going to go with Josh as well, but let's see the real deal. To kick off 15.4, the director of the CrossFit Games, Dave Castro.
10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, go.
15.4 is open and ready for fitness as we are tackling handstand push-ups for the first time in the CrossFit Games Open as we move quickly to the first round of 3 and 3. And Bill, the number one thing off the page is this standard of tape line. They cannot fly through these as fast as they want to.
You know, everyone knew the handstand push-ups would eventually come in here, but it's like the question has always been, how do you control the standard? This controls the standard right here. So if either of these athletes have any sort of a bend in their back, they're going to miss that line. If they try to go wide with their hands, they're going to miss the line.
Right off the bat, we're seeing something between our two athletes. They have 3 power cleans to do between the 3 handstands, 6 and 9. Josh Bridges having a lot of confidence, going strict already, but Scott Panchik's breaking up his power cleans early.
And I think that that's super smart for Scott. He doesn't need to blow out early. He knows that Josh has an advantage right away on the handstand push-up. So what Scott has to do is keep a good pace that he can stay consistent through this entire set, because this event comes down to the handstand push-up. Hands down, hands down.
Josh Bridges done with his 3rd and final set of power cleans as they will move on to 12 handstand push-ups. Josh still opting for the strict as Scott Panchik is kipping.
And that's perfect, that idea, because what the kip does is it allows you to use the mass of your legs to really jolt that body upward, saving the time on your shoulders, saving that drive off your handstand push-up. And look what just happened there. He was able to get all those reps, but what happened with Josh, he was getting no reps. And that's what you do not want to have happen. So the guys that think that they're normally used to just flying through handstand push-ups, they really need to make every rep count here.
Done through the round of 12 handstand push-ups, moving on to 6 cleans. So in this second series, we'll go 12 handstand push-ups, 6 cleans, 15, 6, 18, and 6. As we just passed the 2-minute mark, we only have 6 minutes remaining. It's definitely the shortest event we've had so far for these AMRAPs. And that might help make them push the paces maybe a bit more than they wanted to.
It's going to lull them. And all of these workouts that we've had, this particular open has lulled people into areas that they aren't really comfortable. This particular workout, though, even though it's a short time frame, isn't really an aerobic capacity workout. This is a muscular fatiguing workout. And you can see with Josh Bridges there on the left, he's starting to slow down.
Well, what Josh has to do is, we've talked, before we've had the box, so shorter athletes with smaller arms can go super wide and all they have to lock out. Now, this tape line, this standard is dictated to the athlete specifically, and when Josh wanted to go wider with his hands,
shorten up his height,
he couldn't get his feet over the line, so he had to bring him back in.
So guess what? All you athletes at home, the key to the workout here is you need to have your hands shoulder width apart when you're doing that pressing. That's going to allow you to get that maximum height, and that's the part that's killing Josh right here. Scott, a lot slower. He's not as tired, but he's able to get himself all the way up over that line. That's what's saving him.
And the thing that saved Scott in the very beginning was he's been kipping since 3. Josh went strict all the way through 12.
And like we all know in gymnastic movements, once you hit the wall in the gymnastic movement, it isn't that you can rest or slow down. You have no choice but to stop. You have to stop and sit and wait until you can recover. And that's the worst thing, the most disheartening thing when you're actually in a race.
Scott Panchik on the right, Josh Bridges on the left. Scott holding on to a 10-rep lead as he'll break, as these athletes are on to the round of 18 handstand push-ups. They'll have 6 more cleans after this before they reach the round 21.
Now, if you watch both these athletes, Scott's really doing it now up there in the right shirt. He's resting on his head. That's where he's saving himself. So he's taking the weight off of his shoulders and just allows himself to get a big kip, extend those arms, lock out, and come right back down and rest those shoulders again. The less time under tension is going to really save him in the later part of this workout.
Scott on to his final round of 6 cleans before he moves on to the round of 21 handstand push-ups. So here's the crazy thing. With the short break on the power cleans, it's almost like they're constantly on the wall. Let's talk about how many reps they've done so far. Scott has done 63 handstand push-ups, and we're only at the 430 mark.
And we haven't had, up to this point, the most handstand push-ups that we've done in any workout has been 50. So we're already well past, and that was in a regional. So we are well past that, and for those athletes that really get up in these higher rounds, I tell you what, you are going to be doing a ton of handstand push-ups. Get ready to show folding ball shoulders.
Scott Panchik opening up a huge lead on Josh Bridges. 3 minutes remaining. Now, Josh is known to love pain. He can push through pretty much any workout there is. But there comes a time where it doesn't matter how hard you can work if the work you are trying to do just isn't there.
When it comes to muscle fatigue, it's not about pain. It's just the muscle just doesn't want to fire anymore. So you can't will yourself through that. So this is a matter of really being smart and intelligent as they're working their way through each of these rounds.
2.5 minutes remaining for 15.4. and it's a good thing these guys do the event because our predictions were completely off from the beginning of this as Scott Panchik is opening up nearly a 15-rep lead on Josh Bridges.
And it's all about getting as tall as possible. So again, if the straighter you are, and you can see Josh has a little bit of a bend to his body, and that's hurting him. Any sort of break at that midline is going to shorten that height, and you can't have that. Whereas Scott's very straight, very strict as he's going up for that handstand push-up.
Scott Panchik done with 21 handstand push-ups. 2 minutes remaining in this event. On to 9 cleans at 185 pounds as Josh Bridges is trying to get through his round of 18. So Scott Panchik might get back to the wall before Josh can get on.
And again, the cleans, it's not that this is really hard for these guys, but you figure when you get up into these higher rounds, you are going to end up doing a handful of these cleans. And it's enough just to kind of kick you in the chest. How tired are you going to be? What are you going to do to that midline as you work your way up there?
Josh Bridges trying to finish up his round of 18 as Scott Panchik is on to the round of 24. Bill, 84 handstand push-ups he's already done, moving into this round of 24.
We've all done the handstand workout where we've gone down. We've come from a nice big number and chipped our way back down. It's very mentally fatiguing. Not just physically fatiguing, but mentally fatiguing to have to add to it every time when you're tired. Oh man, and the shoulders are just burning right now. Mine is screaming just watching this.
Josh Bridges making a valiant effort, trying to go touch and go. And you know what? He can do that because it is muscle fatigue, not fatigue.
Right.
So for him to go touch and go, he needs it. But it's all Scott Panchik, 134 reps in with just about 30 seconds remaining.
Look at Scott, how he's resting on his head. That's perfect. He's actually taking a breather at the bottom. He's making sure he's getting fully extended, making sure the feet get up over that tape, making sure every rep is counting. I don't think he's had one miss or a no rep this entire time, whereas Josh, he's still getting no rep.
Scott Panchik, 2 reps left with 10 seconds to go to get out of the round of 24. And Scott Panchik, 5 seconds remaining, trying to squeeze every rep possible. And with 1 second to go, Scott Panchik, unofficial score of 147 reps, will take 15.4.
Oh man, talk about consistency. Scott Panchik, consistency. And this took, the way it was set up, it took the specialist part out of Josh, and it was all about consistency and who was consistent through the handstands and who was consistent through the cleans, and wow, Scott nailed it.
It's how it started. Scott started with a smooth pace, and that kipping really saved him.
And he started from the beginning, and I think that's a super smart move. And he was nice and strong, nice and straight on those. But again, he went early. He broke it up, and I think that was super smart. Josh just went right out of the gate trying to go for it. And wow, Josh had a really tough time getting those feet up over that line.
And you have to wonder is that, Scott pacing it out perfectly. Singles on the power cleans, kipping on the handstand push-ups from go, as Josh almost came out too fast, right? He was almost trying to go
he
fast
definitely
in this
did.
event with strict handstand push-ups and touch and go power.
But we talk about the pace all the time, and Scott always comes through super hard and fast at the end, but his pace was perfect all the way through this entire workout.
Well, Scott Panchik is your winner of 15.4, and he is down on the floor with Roy McKernan.
So Scott, obviously the talk of the town is this new standard with the handstand push-ups. How difficult was it to learn that on the fly?
It was definitely a lot different than the handstand push-ups I do every day in the gym, and you really had to think about each rep and focus on extending, and not just your shoulders, hips, but your feet too. And I don't know, have fun.
You broke it up early and it paid off in the end. Would you change anything about your strategy if you could do it again right now?
Maybe use some plates that don't bounce quite so much.
Right. This is your first public appearance in 2015. What's the statement? What should we see from Scott at the games in 2015?
We're going all the way, baby. I want it bad.
Thanks, Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Panchik.
Congratulations to Scott. What an amazing performance.
Wow.
It's a good thing we don't get paid to do
I'm obviously not a real good
predictions.
gambler. I'm not a gambler, apparently. Scott did everything right, and everything we said he proved wrong. So, man, hats off to you, Scott. Great job.
Scott Panchik, hats off to Josh Bridges as well. What an amazing performance in battle. But that's just 2 athletes. We have over 250,000 of you guys left to do it. But before we get into that, let's get some inside information. Roy McKernan is down with the Director of CrossFit Training and Certifications, Nicole Carroll.
So, Nicole, last week we saw muscle-ups, and upwards of 10,000 people got their first one, which is pretty amazing. But now another intimidating movement in the open. What's your advice? How do we approach 15.4?
Yeah, we've got another first in this year's open, and this time it's the handstand push-up. If you don't have a single handstand push-up, go scaled. But if you've got one or more, of course, tackle this one as prescribed. Now, not only do we see handstand push-ups, but we see a lot of them. Take a page out of Scott Panchik's book this time and kick these suckers right out of the gate. Try not to go to failure and don't rest. Extend it on the wall. Kick down, shake it out, kick back up, get another one that way. Now, for some people, these cleans might be heavy. If this load is anywhere near your max, you're going to have to do some squat cleans. Otherwise, power cleans, of course, the way to go, even if it's in singles. The pacing on this, as you saw, you will hit muscle failure on the handstand push-ups before you hit a wall metabolically. So break those sets up smart, but you've only got 8 minutes, so keep moving. Minimize rest, minimize transitions. Finally, we've got technical moves in the mix. As always, we can support ourselves best by moving well. Seize efficiencies there. Otherwise, it's like paying $10 for something that only costs $5. Don't do that. Play smart. Stay composed. This is the second to last workout of the 2015 Open season. Dig in here, go get them, and good luck.
Thanks, Nicole. More educational material can be found on the CrossFit Games Facebook page, so go check that out before you take on the workout. Otherwise, that's a wrap from here in Portland. Thanks to our host, CrossFit X-Factor. Thanks to the local Portland community. The cool down show follows in just a few minutes, so stick around for that. CrossFit Games Director Dave Castro will sit down with the athletes to answer some of your questions. And then next week, of course, there's one more week. We've got 3 past female CrossFit Games champions in Las Vegas. You're not going to want to miss that. Have fun with 15.4. We'll see you in Vegas, and until then, see you on the leaderboard.
Next week, we're heading to Sin City for the grand finale of the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games Open. Queens are wild in Las Vegas as the last 3 fittest women on earth go head-to-head. Camila Blanc-Bazinet, the reigning CrossFit Games champion, takes the next step in her journey to return to the top of the podium. Sam Briggs, the engine from England, is cranking things up as she looks to erase the memories of 2014. Annie Thorisdottir, the 2-time champ, stood on the podium last year. In 2015, she is focused on taking back her crown. 15.5, live from Las Vegas, next Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific on games.crossfit.com.
It's lucky she was a CrossFitter.
She was going to get back. It wasn't a question. She knew exactly what she was going to do and when. She had a goal, and her goal was to qualify for regionals.
Hey, welcome back, guys. This is the Cool Down Show. We've got both athletes here with the director of the CrossFit Games, Dave Castro. A couple of questions from you guys coming later in the show, but Josh, I'm going to catch up with you first. We talked to Scott. When Dave announced the workout, you're smiling. You're visibly upset right now. Talk to me about it.
I'm not at all.
You're not upset? Talk to me about the handstand push-ups. You look like it was a tough standard. You guys had to learn it on the fly, and you had trouble with them.
It was, it was a frustrating standard for me, at least. I was just trying to get my heels over the line, and I guess I was not.
How did you change your strategy throughout the workout? Because it looked like the last couple reps were money. You would get it by an inch or two. First couple, did you move your hands? Did you change anything about it, or were you just pushing harder?
I don't know. I tell you, I have no idea. No idea.
So what do you do from here? Do you go back, practice the standard, and then hit the workout again?
Of course.
Okay. When can we expect that?
Monday.
Cool. So we talked about handstands already, Scott. Tell me, give a little bit of advice. It looked like, did you change your strategy? You kipped from square one. Yeah. Is that always the plan?
Yeah, the plan was to kip the whole time. Just try and find a slow, consistent pace that showed control at the top and make sure that I met the standard. And then there was a couple times that I actually, as I locked out, I heard him say no rep before I started coming back down. So I kind of like pushed out that last little bit. So maybe as you guys do this in your gyms, have your judge just kind of have an understanding that if you don't meet it,
hang out at
the top and don't be in a hurry to come back down.
Copy that. So Dave, pretty tough standard here with the handstand push-ups. These guys didn't have a lot of time to prepare. Are we going to see something much higher than Scott's? And I want you to talk about the handstand push-up standard also.
We will see something higher than Scott's, probably not too much higher, but the standard is something new and something everyone's going to have to become familiar with and fast. And, you know, it's not like doing a handstand push-up at the regional where we only care, essentially, we look at the lockout. But here we're looking at the lockout with your heels over the line. So people are going to have to spend some time practicing it, getting familiar with it, maybe even do another workout with it before hitting this. And Josh will learn it, redo it, and do very, very well. And I know that.
So Josh, we had a chance to talk. Obviously, the Open so far has treated you very well. What are your plans for once you get to Carson? What's it going to look like for Josh in Carson at 2015 games?
I'm going to be hopefully stronger, fitter, and faster. I'll jump higher, you know, Superman cape on type of thing.
So shooting for the podium, or we're shooting for the top of the podium?
Always the top of the podium.
Right on. Scott, same question.
You know, I'm looking at the games in the distance right now. I'm just kind of taking it week by week. You know, focus on the Open, then regionals, and like Josh said, I want to be standing on the top of the podium.
Right on. Hope to see you there. So we're going to take a question from the community for both athletes. Obviously, there was a mental component to this as well. You guys are in a unique atmosphere. So here's a question for you guys about mental strategies.
Hey guys, training and nutrition are obviously important for doing well, but what's your mental strategy for kicking ass in the Open?
Hey, well, let's start with CrossFit mentality.
Kind of like I just touched on a little bit just a moment ago about taking it one workout at a time and just coming in with a plan, making sure that you stick to your plan, and then always have a plan B, because sometimes your first original plan is not good. So you got to think on the fly and embrace the pain. It's really it. You gotta enjoy suffering a little bit to be great in this sport.
Josh, you talked actually, I think this is very unique. You prefer to train alone, and even you clocked a world record by yourself, not training next to somebody. That's unique. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, for me, you know, like sometimes you'll just want to beat the person next to you. So when you're in the gym by yourself going against the clock, it's always easier. For me, it's easier to push as hard as I can and not, you know, look at what the other guy's doing and just stay ahead of him. So, you know, tonight, hands off to Scott. He did awesome. It was cool. He crushed it, and I needed to adapt and overcome, and I did not. So I will on Monday, though.
Yeah,
so.
I have no doubt that you will. Yeah, give it up. All right, a direct question for you from a young man in the CrossFit community, and I think it has to do with muscle-ups.
Hi, my name is Jake Graves. This question is for Josh Bridges and Scott Panchik. How long after you started doing CrossFit did you get your first muscle up?
It's like -1 year. Did you do it just immediately?
No.
No, I was not quick. I want to say it took me like at least 6 months. It was, yeah, because I started in January 2005, and I want to say I didn't start doing muscle-ups till like later that year, at the end of the year.
Mine took me about a whole summer. I started back in 2009 and pretty much worked on it every day until I got it.
About how long did it take?
The summer, so like 3 months.
Okay. Let's take another one from Instagram for, I believe this one's for Dave.
Hey Scott, Josh, Dave, good job on 15.4. Personal goal of mine is to run a 5-minute mile and hit a 500-pound back squat in the same day. Which male CrossFit Games athlete do you think will be the first to do it? My money's on Panchik.
Hey! Straight from Hackenbrook, a vote of confidence.
Well, I got the 500-pound back squat, and lucky for me, my fiance is a track coach, so hopefully it's in my future.
I think me too. Me as well. It was actually this off season. That was one of my goals, was to do a 500-pound back squat and a 5-minute mile. I'm pretty close to the mile. The back squat's the one I got to work on.
Dave, same question. Which athletes jumps out in your mind?
I think there's going to be a handful who do that, especially if we give it any sort of attention. Anytime we put a barrier on something, these guys just crush it. And I bet you there's a handful now who can do it. And when I talk games athletes, I mean people who've qualified for the games, who go to the games. And so let's talk those guys. These guys would be in the mix. You talk about someone like Rich, Neil Maddox, potentially. He needs to work on the running a little. But there's some really strong guys that I think can do it in a very short time. Tommy, you're gonna have to train for it, because these guys will get it maybe sooner than you.
So while we're taking questions from Instagram, we've got one about Instagram, and it's from what I understand, it's for you, Mr. Castro.
My name is Odette, and I'm from CrossFit Diamond State, and my question is for Dave Castro. I noticed that Scott and Josh are following you on Instagram, so they must be fans. But why aren't you following them?
I think you're making a false assumption. The fact that they're following me doesn't necessarily mean they're fans. First of all, I have a lot of people who follow me, and I know they're sure as fuck not my fans. You should see the things they say about me. So I don't think that a follower equals a fan. Just because I have a lot of followers doesn't mean I have a lot of fans. But I like these guys. I sometimes browse their Instagram pages, but I never did social media before I got on Instagram in August. And when I decided to do Instagram, that was my first step into social media, I decided not to follow anyone, kind of just as my way of dealing with it and not getting too sucked into it. So that's how I personally manage my progress into Instagram, into social media. I don't follow anyone, so I don't get a feed. I don't see all. Someone recently told me on one of the pages, I was like, yeah, this is where I look at all my stuff. And they're like, no, that's where everyone's stuff comes in if you follow people. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But, I like looking at my things that I post, and I really don't look anywhere else.
And even so, you're still about to pass Josh, dude. You going to let that happen?
Nah, bro. Nah, dude.
Never going to happen?
Nah.
All right, so for some of these Instagrams that we use, I know we've got a special gift. 15 of the people here in the crowd earlier got Compex units, and we've got something else to give away as well, correct?
So for those of you whose videos we selected on and used on Instagram, you guys are going to we're going to contact you, and we're going to give you this card that will get you the Nano 5.0 in April. The rest of the world gets the Nano 5.0 in June. So you guys will be the first to get it. So thank you for your videos. And then we have 10 more cards for people here to be the first to get the Nano 5.0. So after this show, we'll talk about that.
Pretty cool. All right, we're going to do one more question. Again, for Dave from a young CrossFitter.
Hi, my name is Shane. Dave Castro, this question is for you. First, congrats on opening the teen division this year. Outstanding. With that being said, how do you plan on congratulating them and recognizing them for the hard work and dedication they put in over these 5 weeks?
Well, first of all, thanks, Chief, for your service in the military. Let's give him a round of applause. The teens, you guys who are competing, you guys are doing great. you guys are going to compete in the CrossFit Games. Yeah. We are going to have a team competition this year for the first time at the CrossFit Games, and we're gonna put you in, and you guys are gonna show the world what you have.
Strong announcement from Dave Castro on the teen division. And how about any closing thoughts for the Portland crew?
You guys were amazing. Thank you for your hospitality. We're going to hang out, have fun. CrossFit. You guys here were great. Thank you for everything. CrossFit X-Factor. You guys were amazing hosts.
Thanks, guys. That's our show. Thank you to the local community. We'll see you guys next week from Vegas. Good night. Have fun with 15.4.